Victor Wembanyama, obvious number one overall pick. Summer League, I'm disappointed he didn't play more, but it is what it is. We saw the kid go for 27. He had a decent little second. I think it was second or third game. I'm not too sure, but
Second, he played 2 total.
cool. Yeah, he's exactly as advertised. That's for sure. I wish we could have got a larger sample size. You know how I feel about the whole situation, and I feel like players should just be able to like play more.
Low key, I'm the opposite with you about this, dude. I'm just happy with the 2 games. I'm surprised that they played him even at like a second game, to be honest with you. And he played in the fourth quarter in the first game too. I'm surprised he played. I thought he was just gonna play first half and be in there and out of there. You know, get a quick double and be out of there by the half. But no, he was playing those first 2 games. But even in the first game, everyone said he was struggling. He shot like 2 for. I think he had like 2 for like 9 or 2 for 14 or something, like some crazy like percentage wise.
Everyone said he struggled. My bad. Everyone said he struggled. Dude had 5 blocks. So that's a hell of a struggle if you ask me.
Bro, I think it's the scariest thing is that he struggled, but he still had an impact in the game and every other area. Bro was dishing out lobs and easy buckets for everyone else. Like he was still controlling the game even with
2K player.
his poor performance. He's literally a my league. Like you create a demigod, like you make him a 99 overall just to fool around or whatever. That's basically what he was like, and he might be an all-star year 1, bro. Like a reserve, not a starter. He might be reserve if he plays enough games though. I think that's the thing though.
We don't got to worry about the votes. We know the entire city of San Antonio, probably half the NBA fan base is probably looking forward to
I'd
this
vote for him
kid.
too.
Me personally, I'm right with you. He's got the entire country of France. We know how that works because Zaza Pachulia was an all-star. He was voted in to be an all-star starter. They didn't let that go through, but I don't want to say the next face of the league because that's a lot of unnecessary pressure. But the way this kid's been talking, all the media, all the clips I've seen of him,
They're
it looks
trying
like he's really up to it. Basketball's in a good spot. Bottom line, basketball's in a good spot because the dude we're talking about right now, he's literally a once-in-a-generation type, player. We give him his credits. The dude who went number 2, Scoot Henderson, he's one of those type of guys
No,
too.
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Oh,
you're wrong
I'm tripping. Like, you see, this draft class is crazy. Brandon Miller, number 2. Polarizing, I will say, from a personal standpoint, polarizing. I saw a lot of good. I don't know if it was because the Charlotte Hornets, that summer league team, it's pretty buns. There's not a lot of talent. It's him, Nick Smith, Amari Bailey. I'll give Amari Bailey some credit.
Book night too. They got book night too.
Book night. Kai Jones, he's there for once in every, few highlights. But he constantly stood out. Brandon Miller. Even when he wasn't scoring, I liked a lot of the things I saw. His point forwardness is there. He might not always have 5, 6, 7 assists, but he constantly makes the right plays. He makes the one more passes. He's not a gunner. He'll shoot the pill for sure, but he's not looking to over. You know what I mean? And he rebounds well. He's active on defense. He can make some strides, of course, but he's a rookie. And you got anything else to say about Brandon? I want to get into Scoot. My bad.
I'm just okay. So little context here. Me and Dan, leading straight up to the draft, would go in probably for like an hour and a half, just debating on what the Hornets were gonna do. I said they were gonna pick Miller. He said they were gonna pick Scoot. I agree, Scoot is the better prospect, but I think Brandon Miller is basically like a hairline's,
in terms
length
of
away
fit,
from.
I agree with you. In terms of fit, definitely, I agree with you.
I mean, could you LaMelo? I mean, dishing like throwing like full court lobs up to Brandon Miller for a corner 3, like it's gonna happen, or for a slam. He's got ups too.
I didn't realize he had bounce like that. Yeah,
he was throwing a couple jammers down too, especially in the Victor game too. He was trying to prove something and show something, which I like too. He goes at the big dogs too. He's not gonna shy away from the moment. So I mean, I watched him in the SEC, obviously with Mizzou. I mean, dude was just killing our league the entire time. SEC basketball too, not, this is the Pac-12. No offense to the Pac-12, but dude is a hooper. He is a mini PG. Hopefully he could be more healthier than PG. And those Indiana Pacer days, I can already see it, the similarities between the Indiana Pacer PG and Brandon Miller right now. But yeah, we'll get into your boy Scoot now with the Trailblazers, who have had a very noisy offseason.
I commend Scoot Henderson for not saying. I haven't seen any headlines about outside of what he said on draft night. He said, "Dame, let's get us a ring." Kind of like Colin Sexton said to Bron right before he went to the Lakers. But I haven't heard anything else outside of that regarding him and Dame. I know him and Dame do have a good relationship. It's kind of weird the way things are playing out. But strictly speaking on Scoot, the kid's a baller. He only played like 2 games as well. Or he only played 1. Did he get injured?
He played 1 and got injured in the second game.
Yeah, so small sample size from him as well. But in the 1 or 2 that we've seen, the kid is he spent 2 years in the G League Ignite program. I knew he was league ready. I felt he was league ready. And then seeing him in summer league, it only confirmed my beliefs even more. The guy looks so comfortable. He looks so comfortable. This is literally his entire season last year. I mean, thinking about it too, he playing against mostly G League players and rookies. When things are gonna get difficult, they're gonna start throwing focused double teams at him, triple teams. They're gonna be game planning for
pick
him.
Up from half court, pick up right at the half court line.
To that. So, but his play in summer league, his pull up, his jump shot has actually looked a lot better than I thought it would.
He looks really relaxed. It just looks relaxed when he shoots it too. He just like feels comfortable with it. He looks. Not to cut you, I'll get you back to it, but
go ahead.
He looks like a mix between Russell Westbrook, D Rose, and Harden a little bit with the way the way Harden just is easy when he's in his rhythm. You can't really rush him or do anything. Same with Shea from OKC, but he just looks relaxed, like he is in command of the court and no one can really rush him. I mean, it is the G League. We'll see how it goes against NBA players, but he just looks really relaxed. I mean, I think all top three picks are going to be all-stars in this league. I think this could be one of the greatest top 3 draft classes in NBA history. I mean, all 3 look like they are going to be something.
And then the rest of the draft too, I'm gonna be honest.
Thompson twins, I didn't really know much about them, but they were hooping too.
I knew that they were athletes for sure. I just wasn't really sold on the OTE, the whole league. I didn't know the legitimacy, and they came out. They didn't miss a beat, bro.
I think Scoot is more the most NBA ready player, to be honest with you. I think Brandon Miller's right there to be honest too, though. But I mean, if you don't have Dame, I mean, it's really just Scoot, just run. It's True. Your team and just go.
They got I mean, Shea Sharp and Af. Those 2 guards too. I want to see. I don't know how the disparity was shot. I'm not worried about Brandon Miller's shots because LaMelo and Brandon Miller. He'll get him shots. Open shots too. But with the Portland Trailblazers and that roster makeup, we gonna have to see. We gonna have to see. My bad. Continue though. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, but Scoot is. I'm worried about his health too, though. I mean, okay. the Russell Westbrook, D Rose, the John Wall, that type. We've already talked about this too. Super high athletic, just get to the rim and blow past everyone type of thing. It causes some injury concerns. Russ had him. John Wall, obviously, the late great D Rose. We know how that went down.
Mm-hmm. So he said late great. Hold on, man. Hold on. He's still here.
Yeah, but real ones know what he was the great. So I'm loving what the Hornets are doing. I'm loving what the Hornets are looking like. Those 2 are going to be up on the come up. But back to Victor a little bit. Victor is. Spurs are going to be good in the next 4 years too. I feel like I think they could be a playoff team within the next 4 years with LeBron and AD probably going down. Who knows what happens with the Warriors too? Like these teams that have been having these stars and these runs are going to start eventually falling a little bit, especially when you got Scoot and Victor in the same conference. So yeah, I think the Spurs are going to be. I think the Spurs will be a playoff team within the next 4 years. I think. Wemby could be an MVP in the next 5, honestly.
I agree. I think the Spurs, this might be a hot take. I don't know if it's really a hot take, but I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to be in play-in contention. They'll be fighting for a play-in spot this season. Hear me out, because in terms of their starting 5, starting 6 rotational pieces, the only piece that they were missing was Wembanyama. And even then, at the center or at the forward spot, they had Sohan and they had Zach Collins, who is actually playing insanely good basketball for them out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from, but
I think they're missing a scorer too, though.
They got Vassell and Keldon Johnson. Both of them have averaged, or Vassell's averaged close to 20. He's a good shooter too. And Keldon Johnson, he's averaged 20 in this league as well for a few years or so. So
Dame was perfect for Wemby. Being completely honest, the Spurs, if they got Dame, that'd be a playoff team. I would pick that as a playoff team. I'm not gonna say it, but Wemby's just a playmaker too. Confirm it that every single starter on the Spurs team will average at least 2 more points because of Wemby for their averages, I feel like. So Johnson and Vassell averaged 22 or 23 instead of the 20s that they were averaging.
I agree. Just because of the attention and the gravity that he's gonna hold on the court, yeah, definitely. So that just caters to why I feel like San Antonio will have the easiest of these, the easiest transition of these younger teams. Way easier than Portland. I think they're already kind of on the tier of Oklahoma City. They might be a little bit worse, but I think with OKC, what they have going on, I think it's kind of mirroring what San Antonio is going through right now. So I'm just hopping on the bandwagon early.
Let's get into the actual pros that are actually playing in the league now, that are switching teams now.
First and foremost, I gotta tip my hat off to the Boston Celtics. I don't know if that's what people thought I was gonna initially say, but Ethan just seen him take a little big sigh. I didn't think they'd be able to get better. Somehow, after they went out in the fashion that they did, they almost completed a 3-1 comeback without Porzingis. They got rid of Marcus Smart. It's a big loss, no doubt. But do they have people that can pick up the pieces? For sure. They were trying to get rid of Brogdon, but they couldn't trade him because he failed the physical to the Clippers. And he's still on the roster, so I don't know how awkward that's going to be. But he was a big piece for them. I think he might start this year. If he doesn't start, look for Peyton Pritchard to get some pretty big minutes. Whether it be
Derek White will take his spot, actually.
Derek White might be the starter too as well. I don't really think Derek White of a point guard. He can definitely play the point guard, but when I think of point guard, I want somebody that's actually able to be not even facilitate primarily, just be able to be more of a court general. But I feel like Derek White, he commands that respect at the one. It makes sense. He's a good defender, can definitely defend the guard, get at the point of attack. Yeah, I see it. It's a good vision. A lot of people aren't even realizing Kristaps just had his best season since forever ago, whenever he was in New York. He's not the shot blocker that he once was, but that happens over time and you get older and all the injuries he's had. But when I say older, he's not even insanely old. He's still 27, I think, maybe about to be 28. When I see the Celtics make this move for who they gave up in the trade, it's to make cap space, I think, for Kristaps to come in. Being Marcus Smart, someone that Boston values dearly. Like, he was deeply enrooted in that city. He dyed his hair green, even though it was really for his mom, but still, like, he was a Celtic. When you think Celtics, you think Marcus Smart. He was the heart and soul of that team. So making this move for KP, it makes me think that this is going to be the center for the foreseeable future with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I feel like he's going to stay there for a while. And not even if, when he gets comfortable, because Kristaps is a good basketball player. He just needs some good coaching. He just needs good players. He just needs a good environment around him, I feel like. And this is a great environment, especially with what the Boston Celtics do. They live and die by that three-point line. And if there's anything Kristaps Porzingis does, which is weird as a 7-footer, you would expect him to go get some layups and be in the post. No, he lives and dies by that three-point line. He's got range, crazy range. So that adds a whole new element to that offense. But defensively, that lineup is just crazy. Porzingis at the 4, or Rob Williams at the 4, Al Horford at the 4. You still got Tatum and Brown running the wing. Whoever you want at the guard. That just makes Boston that much more versatile, unguardable, that much more of a threat to get, I was about to say Lombardi, get a LOB. I brought up Boston first because bottom line, they're my number one contenders after this entire offseason. I feel like that Porzingis move put them heads and shoulders over pretty much everybody else, even Denver.
All right, so let me break it down the Porzingis trade. Marcus Smart and Grant Williams both need to go. That was the bottom line. Those two were, I wouldn't say holding it back, but they had the ceiling. They were playing the best basketball of their career. They weren't going to get much better than that. Marcus Smart is not a point guard. Them trying to put him at point guard was not going to work ever. Grant Williams he's a physical player, but he's not super skillful. He's very, very, very streaky from 3-point line, so he needed to go as well too. That was a great piece by Dallas though to pick up Grant Williams. That'll help him tremendously defensively, especially once you go against bigger forwards like a Jokic. But Porzingis averaged the most points of his career, 23. That'll probably go up. Shot 38% from the three. That was probably the reason why he was a Boston Celtic right now, is because Joe Mazzulla wants you to live and die by that three. He's basically kind of playing it like a Mike D'Antoni with the Houston Rockets. Wants you to put up 33 a night. Yes, this makes him better offensively, but defensively, I mean, you lost your best perimeter defender, Marcus Smart, and I mean, you lost probably your first or second best defender on the block in Grant Williams. So, and this doesn't actually solve the biggest issue with the Celtics, which was, you said it a little bit earlier, they didn't have a legit point guard. They're trying to get Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard does not want to go to Boston Celtics. If they had Damian Lillard instead of Porzingis, then I would put them above everyone else. But that's not the case because Dame doesn't want to go to Boston. I don't blame him. Who wants to go to Boston? Regardless of that, the situation is that they do not have a point guard. Who's going to lead at the end of the game? Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have both struggled handling the ball late in the games. Jaylen Brown had 2 or 3 turnovers in Game 7 against the Heat. That kind of cost them a chance to get back into the game to win the game. The problem is, right, what they need, $300 million by the way, what they need is a CP3. They couldn't get CP3 on the buyout market when he got traded to the Wizards. That was horrible, because if they got CP3, then I would have put him above it. They would have been a veteran point guard, guy who can get you in your offense, can keep Tatum and Brown both accountable. No one's going to be able to keep them accountable anymore. Marcus Smart tried to do that, but he's not there anymore. He's in Memphis.
Got him out of there.
That's the point. So here's my point. The point is, the problems that they did have, they didn't answer them. Tatum and Brown were handling the ball late in the situations because they didn't have a point guard. They didn't have someone who can get them in the offense and late in the games. It's just basically a Tatum Brown isolation with a minute left in the game. Most of the time it does work, so that's why they probably went this route, but other times it doesn't work, and that's why they haven't been able to win a championship. Problem is, where you can't get the point guard now. There's no really legit point guard that you can get. I mean, unless you at the trade deadline or in the buyout market during the season, maybe CP3 doesn't work out with the Warriors and he gets bought out, but maybe CP3 is injured too eventually. So that's where I'm at with it. I don't think defensively, I don't think they got worse per se. They got better offensively, but they didn't get too much worse defensively. But they just didn't answer the problem of not having a point guard. That's
lose the
bottom
defensive
line.
Player of the year. Didn't get worse defensively.
Tatum and Brown are a little bit. They're I guess a little bit underrated defensively, I feel like. So I feel like they can carry their weight, especially Derek White. Derek White has gotten better defensively too. Especially probably going against Brown and Tatum every day at practice. I mean, you're going to get better defensively eventually. So the point is the question mark that they had before the season ended, they still have today. So that's why I can't put them above the Nuggets.
Okay. Most of the time, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, first off, financially, like we mentioned, we alluded to the Supermax, the super $300 million. They
Who's
don't
gonna
really
want to
have
trade
a
for that
choice.
$300 million too? Who's gonna want to trade? Let's say it doesn't work in 2 years or a year from now. Who's gonna want to pay for that $300 million contract?
Not a
Nothing.
soul. Not a soul. Tatum and Brown, they're good enough as a duo to get you at least bottom line like a 5 seed. Bare minimum 5-6 seed if the season's going awry, like it's going wrong. And at their ceiling, we've seen where they can get to. They got to the finals. They were just in the finals like a year or two ago. So we know where this is going, which leads me to say what I'm about to say. I think with no primary point guard, they can get the job done. but it's gonna take a specific someone. No primary point guard. You put Derek White up there, they might be able to get the job done. You put Peyton Pritchard up there in some situations for the ball handling aspect, like you alluded to.
The question marks are still there.
Yeah,
nothing has changed.
Definitely.
And if Dame goes to Miami, which I think it would be the biggest bomb of the whole free agency, Miami's going to the finals.
We're waiting on it. We've been waiting on it.
And it's gonna happen. I don't think it's not gonna happen either. I think it is gonna happen. So Boston, they're gonna have to make a move at the deadline too. I mean, in the season, there's no way. Let's say Porzingis has had some injuries too in the past. Let's not forget that. So Porzingis, let's say he's out till second round of the playoffs from after the All-Star break. It's going to have to be Tatum and Brown playing almost every single night to carry them to probably a top 3, top 4 seed.
It's not nothing they haven't done before.
But
all
at the end of the day, Miami would have Dame, though. That would be the only difference.
True. As long as you can get to the dance, if you're in the playoffs, you get your foot in the door. We saw it with the Lakers, bro. With your Lakers, the potential for that Boston roster is there. If the Lakers can do what they did with LeBron James and Anthony Davis,
if what Miami did, anyone can do. That's the real thing.
Yeah. Some other contenders I've had in mind. I'm gonna throw out a dark horse. This might age terribly. The Dallas Mavericks. All they need is a center. I'm seeing they're about to get rid of the Shaqtin' MVP. JaVale. Good luck in China whenever you sign that contract. With Dallas though, they drafted Derek Lively. I don't know how much impact he's gonna have his rookie year, but if he plays if he is half of what Walker Kessler was for Utah this season, I feel like Dallas could actually make another trip back to the Western Conference Finals just off the offense of Kyrie and Luka. Put some pieces around them like Mark Cuban's starting to do, and
Mitchell Robinson.
If they got Mitchell Robinson, ooh, they need to hire you. Why aren't you a GM somewhere? What? Like you said, they just need the right pieces. They just need the right pieces, and I think they're starting to build towards that. They might be a trade deadline away or something from being some real threats. They are real threats with Kyrie and Luka, but you know what I mean. Take that next step as into contender. Yeah, exactly. Tell me why the Minnesota Timberwolves just came into my head. We're gonna delete this thought. They're not there. Do you got anybody? Anybody?
I mean, I think the big elephant in the room that you haven't brought up, which is kind of, I mean, because it has been a while, but Bradley Beal's on the Phoenix Suns now, so
that's reality. That is true.
We differ on this. We had a whole probably another hour or two about this conversation too of you thinks Phoenix is just absolutely just loaded.
They're world beaters. They are.
Bro, me and you we're gonna be on the bench, dude.
You don't think we can get elite, bro? We could do some decent minutes, bro. 5 minutes, just give Katie a little breather. Devin Booker, dude, it's me, you, Beal. Come on, we're getting a ring. You don't want a ring,
right? No, bro. It's until Katie or Bradley Beal goes down, then we have to actually go play some real minutes. The point guard is gonna be Devin Booker. Okay, that's probably what it's gonna happen. Beal's gonna be at the 2. Katie will be at the 3 to 4. I guess Torrey Craig will probably be the 3.
No. Torrey Craig is a Chicago Bull. Yes, sir.
I forgot about that. See, they lost even Tony Craig. Oh, Josh Okogie will be the 3 then.
Yeah.
KD at the 4, and then Ayton at the 5, I guess. But where is the lockdown defender on that?
Okogie, I will say, he's super underrated. He's a very good defender.
Who's guarding? Let me ask you, who's guarding Jokic?
Not a soul. Nobody in the league is guarding him, though. Let's be honest.
Who's gonna guard Ja?
Josh Okogie, baby. Yeah.
My thing is, and if one of them even goes down, then they have no chance.
It's tough.
Not a single chance of even one of them going. KD and Devin Booker were going almost 40 ball every single night against in the playoffs, and they still got bounced out in 6 against Nuggets. It was a close 6. I will say it was a closer 6 than it actually says. But my thing is that all 3 of them have to get there too. I mean, they're gonna be missing probably one of the 3 probably.
And if they're not dealing with injury, I imagine they're
every other night
load manage, just because, like you said, the reality of the playoffs, what it is, they're going to be playing 40, 42 minutes a night, shooting 20, 25
Booker
plus
play
shots.
Could be averaging 46 minutes a night in the playoffs.
Easily. If I'm being honest, I'm not worried about Book. Book, he showed me a lot this past postseason. Because
he might be the best player on the team.
I think at this point,
no one wants to say that, but no one wants to bring it up. But he might be the best player on the team.
Here's a hot take: Devin Booker, he could win his first MVP this season.
He likes to get his jumpers off. He likes to have the most jumpers in the game.
That's what I mean. If he averages, go ahead.
No, but when KD got to the team, he made sure he was dropping 20 shots at least every night, making sure he was having the most points. I feel it. I mean, he was the lead dog on that team. He wants to establish his dominance. Yeah. So, and KD's fine with deferring. I mean, KD did it in Golden State, so KD's fine with having 10, 15, 17 shots a game and only having 25 points and shooting 12 or 17 or something like that. So, I think that's why it works, but I don't know, man.
I like the mix.
Ayton will get moved. I feel like. I think Ayton's gonna get moved at the trade deadline.
He very well could. I like the mix because when I talk about mix, I'm not talking about DeAndre Ayton. He's the biggest wild card. He's not a detriment having him there, but you know what I mean. Well, we know about Ayton. I'm not even gonna waste my breath on him. No disrespect, but with KD, he kind of gets his 25, 30. Of course, he'll have his isolation. In isolation, the guy is crazy, but he's so good because I feel like in an offense, you kind of just give the ball to him, let him pick his spot, let him set up, and then he'll kind of take his 2-3 dribbles and he'll score from there. Very efficient. So with KD and Book, I don't really think it's that big of a problem, that dynamic. It depends on what version of Bradley Beal are we getting.
He's never been in the spot. He's never been in a super team. Definitely
not. He's been the number 2. He was the number 2 behind John Wall. He was a very good number 2. He's been the number 1. As a number 1, he averaged 30 a game. He looked very good too. I'm not gonna lie. He looked like he could lead the team in Washington. He just needed a little bit more pieces, but he's out of that situation now. He's in Phoenix. I think this is why I was so high on the Phoenix Suns. I think the mix they have is very good as well. Because Book, we know Book. He's ball dominant. He's going to run the offense. It goes through Devin Booker. Bradley Beal off ball. I feel like he just hasn't been asked to as much be off ball, but he's very capable of playing off ball. If they stay with the whole super team thing longer than a few years, 2-3 years, I think his scoring averages will have inevitably go up because Kevin Durant, at that point, he probably won't be the same player as he is right now. Or he will be, who knows. But Beal, it just is a matter of how comfortable he'll be in this first year of Phoenix. If he comes in like All-Star Washington, Bradley Beal gives you 24. Devin Booker, he's going to take the bulk of the shots. If he's close to 30 a game, KD is going to be KD. He's going to give you 25, 26. That offense right there, what is that? That's around 80-ish points. And that's not even counting DeAndre Ayton and the rest of the bench. If those guys combined give you 30, 40, you're already looking at a top 5, top 10 offense in the league.
That's bottom 5 defense in the league.
Oh, that defense is going to be something. Dude, if they're even average defensively, though, because Book, he's shown. That's why I'm super high on Devin Booker nowadays, because at first I knew he could.
He's a good defender. Booker's a good defender.
The playoffs showed me something, man. The playoffs showed me he could really lock in if he needed to. Is he going to be able to do that through a full entire season?
No,
and
he won't do it.
If he takes that next step, and becomes the true alpha of the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal steps into his shoes, does his volume scoring thing. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. DeAndre Ayton can sit in the corner, suck on his thumb for all I care, bro. The Phoenix Suns, they're going to the Western Conference Finals. They are locks.
Do you think they'd be Denver? With all those mileages in the first 2 rounds, playing 46 minutes a night?
If they game plan correctly. I think they can beat Denver in 6 games as well. In 6 games as well. Denver, I don't know how big a loss Bruce Brown is, but I think they just match up a lot better. The only problem is Jokic. Jokic can, we know what he can do, but they got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and in the playoff setting, in the half court especially, good luck dealing with that. That's that type of spacing, that type of. There's just not that many. There's not enough people, bottom line, to guard those 3. You need 8 people to guard those 3.
Denver in 6. Aaron Gordon. I mean, people forget about Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
He's with the amount of mileage that KD would have on his legs going into that Western Conference Finals. Aaron Gordon would be able to wear him down. Jamal Murray would have to lock up defensively. KCP would have to play a bigger role too defensively. I think Denver would have to make another move at the trade deadline though to get another defender, maybe another perimeter defender.
I'm be honest, if you're betting on KCP to guard Devin Booker or Bradley Beal,
He did it against Jimmy Butler in the bubble. Let's not forget he was putting he had a big steal too against the I can't remember if it was against the Lakers or the Heat in the finals, but he's made some plays. He's a championship player. He's a two-time NBA championship or 2-time NBA champion. So he's a championship level player. But all I'm saying is, if the Phoenix Suns even get there, they would go through a freaking war. Gady would be on one leg. Book would have 3 fingers left, dude. Against Jokic too.
The final boss. 2. All he need is these 2 fingers. You gonna let that shit go. You gonna shoot it.
Jokic as the final boss to get to the finals. I don't know. I still like the Kings, honestly. Grizzlies got Marcus Smart now. Who knows what the Grizzlies do? I don't know. I don't know. I'm worried about the Warriors and Lakers, but
they might fall off. They could.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Phoenix. They're better constructedly, front office wise. They're more stable than the Brooklyn Nets situation, but I don't know, man. If they even get there, it's still. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go against Jokic playing 46 minutes a night first 2 rounds.
I don't think anybody wants to go against Jokic. Bottom line.